Testing, testing.
Okay.
Okay. The last time I spoke with you guys regarding motorcycle was when I was riding Albert's bike motorcycle. That was way in the beginning of starting this YouTube. I wouldn't say not starting this YouTube, getting in the groove of coming up with content. So biking is motorcycling is actually very familiar to me. That's where I started. Yeah, so why I was thinking of doing this suddenly, it's because as you can see this motorcycle, it's something that you have not seen before. You have only seen it as a round island trip that I did. I'll give the description in the description below. And I did a Christmas ride, not Christmas ride, a Christmas lights ride. So Christmas is just around the corner. Orchard Road in Singapore tend to be lighted up every year, but because of COVID, they ended that and only resume, I believe, is this year. Although it's not all shopping centers along the Orchard Road belt participated in the lighting, but the main ones do. That is the one that you saw, the bike. This is the bike, and today is my final about 1,000 run-in kilometers. The lorry just went past. About 1,000 kilometers of run-in for the bike, and I am bringing it in today for my first servicing with Sporting Motors. So I thought I take this opportunity to share with you guys about this bike and the three big main reasons why I ride this bike. So I have to set a bit of context. Many of you watching this video wouldn't know who I am or what was my background motorcycling. So I've been riding for easily 20 years, and I've ridden all sorts of bikes, from small bikes to big bikes. And in Singapore, there is 3 license. The aeroplane just flew past. I'm not sure how is this going to affect the audio. It's a very big aeroplane. It's not the fighter jet, but those cargo types. But I think it's military. Yeah. I've been riding for at least 20 years. I didn't really count, but because in Singapore there is 3 kind of license for motorcycling. You have the small one, the 2B, which is 200cc and below. You have the 2A, which is above 200cc until 400cc, and you have class 2, which is anything above 400cc. So at a very early stage and age, I've already gotten my license to ride a class 2, being the biggest motorcycle. And I was not even 21 yet, so I literally skipped my poly lectures, but not the tutorials, the lectures, just to go for classes, just to go for exams. So I suggest that don't do that, because it's not the right thing to do. But because I really wanted the license to ride the bike, I made quite a lot of sacrifices, which are, to be frank, I'm not proud of. But given to do it again, as you know the saying, it will be the same again, you know, because you just really want it. This bike is the 2022 Triumph Street Scrambler Goldline edition. It's a limited edition, and to my knowledge in Singapore, this color scheme is only the color scheme that's a bit special. And I'm going to show you is the Goldline that runs down the fuel tank. And this Goldline is not done by machine, it's done freehand by artists from Triumph. So Goldline is a kind of Goldline artistry is a kind of skill in the automotive world, and not just the Goldline, it is just the straight line artistry. So to get a straight line, usually you need machines or you need apparatus or rulers, you know, to draw the straight line, but this is freehand. So some of you may not appreciate it, but it takes an amount of skill, patience, training over not just a couple of months or years, but many years to get the skill right. And if you were to see some luxury cars, I'm not sure in Singapore, but really luxury cars in overseas, I believe you can see it in US, even in Dubai, you know, those richer countries, you see this kind of artistry very much appreciated. Yeah, so I didn't expect to see this kind of artistry on a motorcycle, So I do appreciate this artistry. Yeah. Okay, so I would like to the context is I've ridden motorcycles over the past 20 years. I've ridden small motorcycles, big motorcycles, and all my life of riding big motorcycles, when I ride from Singapore going to Malaysia, riding into Thailand up to Golden Triangle, I've always been riding bikes beyond my size. That means bikes which is super huge, bikes which is super tall. So I don't run away from tall and heavy bikes. It's because I'm short. I'm 5'3" or maybe less. So I'm very short, and because of my height, there's many limitations on riding. And I am not really a cruiser like Harley Davidson. I'm not really a cruiser fan unless it's a very special type, and cruisers to me sometimes feels very cumbersome. And the cruiser that I like, my feet can't reach the forward controls. Yeah, so that's the reason why I don't avoid riding taller bikes or heavy bikes, because I just deal with it. So prior to this bike, I was riding actually a KTM 1190 Adventure and a Versys 1000 SE, and these two bikes are tall. And every time when I pillion Sharon, my wife, she always have trouble going up because she don't go up the bike the conventional pillion way. So what happens is she don't step up on the foot peg while holding my shoulder and swing herself over. She doesn't. What she does is she put her whole leg onto the chair and try to use her left leg, mounting from the left side, using her left leg to rest on the footrest, to push herself and center herself onto the seat. It is a safer way. It really takes care of the rider, that means me. So sometimes because our legs are short, and if a pillion were to just step over, the weight might just tip the whole bike over. And it happened to me many years ago, and it was because my friend, my work colleague, came up the bike without letting me know. So there was a small tip over accident, and he was on MC for a few days because it injured his leg, because the bike landed on his leg. So being all the tall bikes, heavy bikes, from the Gold Wings, yeah, to the Pan-Europeans, ST13, ST11s that I've ridden, Sharon is my main concern when it comes to the bike, because I want her to enjoy it as much as I do. So all this while, I don't really have any bike that it's easy for her to mount and ticks a lot of boxes. There's so many boxes. So I'm going to share with you the three main reasons why I bought this bike. One, I have never ridden a Triumph in my life, owned a Triumph in my life, all these 20 years. So in the beginning, so in the beginning, I wanted to look for a scrambler. But scramblers are also very tall, but those small road-oriented scramblers. So there were a couple of models that came to my mind. I thought it was I knew now there's 3 models, okay? But during that time, I only thought of 2 models, and Triumph was not one of them. Okay, so the first model is actually the Ducati Scrambler 800. It's an air-cooled bike. I'm not going to tell you all the specs on all the bike, so I'm just going to tell you more on this one, because this is the one I'm having it right now. So the Ducati Scrambler 800. So what happened was, I went down to, in Singapore, it's handled by Werns. I went down to Ducati Singapore. I went to check out the bike. I love the color. It was black. Actually, Sharon likes the color because Sharon's favorite color is black, and my favorite color is not black, it's actually blue. So I saw it, I heard the sound, and I can't test ride it because I believe I was wearing shorts. Yeah, I was wearing shorts. I was not wearing long pants and shoes. I was wearing sandals and shorts. So I heard the bike, the sound, it sounds great, and I have ridden Ducatis before. Yeah, beginning of this year I actually was riding a Ducati BMW, but I sold it because the certificate of entitlement, the COE, was ending very soon, so I sold it. Going back to a Ducati was familiar, but to be honest, the Ducati's upkeep, the spending of money, resource, finances, it's little bit higher than typical Japanese bikes across the world. It's going to be like that unless I do the servicing and the repairs on my own. So many planes. Yeah, so I think I should have picked a better sport. This was not my first choice for sport, but I think this will be a great later in the day shot. I was looking at a Ducati Scrambler, but the thing was, the salesman was okay. The package that he gave me was not very attractive, and the trade-in price he gave for my Versys 1000 was it shouldn't be lah. So, but the thing is, there was nothing that came with the bike. There's only the first servicing package. There was the typical, I'm not sure how many years warranty. I think it was 2 years or 3 years. 2 years. So apart from the machine itself, the whole wanting to buy that experience was less than desirable. So what happened was, I tried another brand, BMW. They have a R90 Scrambler, but that bike is a 1200cc air-cooled. I have experience with this engine because I used to ride a GS air-cooled, but my ownership for the GS has not gone touring, because during that time I think we couldn't find time. So nevertheless, so I went down to BMW, the one at Alexandra Road. I think they have only one. Alexandra, that area. Check out the bike, and there's so many versions, but I'm keen on getting the Scrambler because I wanted a Scrambler. So it's still road going, it's still very road oriented. Off-road for that bike, for this segment, is not very off-road focused. It can do some off-road, but because I'm not a skilled off-road rider, I tell you, I'm a noob. Not even a novice or amateur, I'm a noob. So I'm trying to pick that up next time. So getting the equipment right first. The price of the BMW was a lot more. It was already more than the Ducati itself, and I was waiting for the salesperson to get back to me on the trade-in price, and I don't understand. We spent quite some time talking like friends, and he has his ex-customer there waiting for the his ex-customer was there, and incidentally his ex-customer is someone I used to acquaintance with a couple of years ago. So I thought we were having a good time, you know, speaking to each other, befriending. So I was waiting for the sales guy from BMW to actually call me to let me know what's the trade-in price. But I tell you, sometimes you wait for people to get back to you. It sucks, the waiting. It really sucks. So I have no idea. I don't expect them to call me back to give me good news, but at least do a follow-up. I actually waited for more than a week, and on my side I text and ask what's going on, but the reply was lukewarm. To explain this scenario further is going to sound like I have a stink eye against this BMW service. So I'm not going to explain it. Next time if I see comments asking to explain the whole situation, I'll try to find that. But all the content is for the viewers. I'm doing the content not because I'm doing the content because I like it, but obviously I'm not going to share every single thing because I'm not sure, not everything that you guys are interested to know. So I'll share to my best knowledge what I think is interesting that you can hear about this, listen about this. Okay, so BMW was it became out of my choice. So actually the first two was really out of my choice. Then suddenly I was thinking, why I did not talk about Triumph? And this type of bike is a kind of bike that I don't want to ride. Why? Because it's not aggressive enough. I don't feel that it's very powerful. So when I realized that Triumph Singapore has, Triumph, not Triumph Singapore, but Triumph from the UK has Triumph Singapore in Singapore, and they have this model called the Bonneville series. This is the Bonneville series, the Triumph Street Scrambler. And why they call it the Street Scrambler? Because it's a 900cc, the smaller version. Yeah. So I was thinking, why not give it a try? I do not know much about this Bonneville series and all these things because Triumph was, I've never ridden a Triumph. Triumph never interests me before, and other reasons where, other reasons. So I find an opportunity to go down to Triumph Singapore with Sharon to find this bike, the Street Scrambler. So when I reached there, this bike was on display. I was thinking, color scheme looks nice. The look of it looks nice. This is now on side stand. On main stand it looks even nicer. And I took away the box because of this video, because the box is ugly. So I saw this bike. Then the salesperson, Mahfuz, is a salesperson that I've seen over the years in another organization, but I've never been his customer before. But I know that he has quite good service with a number of customers because some of my friends was served by him before. So I was thinking, why not speak to him? So we spoke to him, and because he's a biker, he has experience with both Scrambler types, the Scrambler 1200 and this is the 900. And from his experience, he shared with me the pros and cons of both. And because at this moment, one of my main reason is not to go back to buying a over-the-top motorcycle, and because many of the times when we make purchases, we buy anything, we tend to purchase over the top more than what we need. It's always the case, and we will never fully utilize an item. A fully utilized item, it can be anything. It can be a machine, it can be anything, an expensive pot. To fully utilize that item, that material item, is really very difficult. So after sitting down with the salesperson, he explained to me about this bike with the color scheme and everything. I realized the price was a lot better than the Ducati 800, the Ducati Scrambler 800. It comes with warranty, which is 4 years, which is amazing. But it was the 4-year servicing package that was thrown in that really blew my mind. And also after that, the trade-in price was something that I was more comfortable with. Apparently I already tell you the whole awful reasons, all 3 reasons. Yeah, the first reason was I've not ridden a Triumph before. Second reason, the whole package and the color scheme all met my requirement. It's blue, and I always I had only 2 blue bikes in my life. This is the third one. The first one was a crappy FZ150 from Yamaha. That was a small bike. It was like falling apart. The second one was a Kawasaki Z750S. It's a very rare bike, and to be frank, I regretted selling that bike. Yeah, so that's another story. So the third reason is when Sharon got on and off the bike, it was very easy for her. It was comfortable for her. Yeah, so these are the 3 reasons why I finally decided to buy this bike. I mean, there's 101 reasons why I changed to this bike lah, but those are all the small reasons. But these 3 main reasons make me feel that it's time for me to look at try something new, have more memories of riding with Sharon, because I truly enjoy riding on a motorcycle alone or with her, because during the funnest part of my life, we were riding, touring. I mean, I was doing it with Sharon. Every couple of months, I'll be riding up to Thailand. Yeah, from Koh Samui to Hap Chai to Phuket. Yep. So that are the 3 reasons. Yeah. I'm sorry that I didn't put it in bullet point, but it's more of a conversation just to share with you what are the reasons I bought this Triumph 2022 Triumph Street Scrambler Goldline edition. It's a mouthful lah. It's a mouthful. So more or less, I think I've covered quite a number of items. I am not sure how long is this. I'm going to make my way down to Sporting Moto because it's time to service this bike.